You're welcome to our 18th lesson in science. Now look at the picture carefully. What kind of dispersal is occurring in the okra fruit below? What kind of dispersal is occurring in the fruit below? Alright, I guess you are thinking of self-dispersal or explosive mechanism. If that's what your guess is, the thumbs up. Still under life cycles of organisms, we are looking at the concluding part of the life cycle of maize or okra plant. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to describe fruit and seed maturation and dispersals of seeds as stages of maize or okra. Be able to describe fruit and seed maturation and dispersals of seeds as stages of maize or okra. So let's start with fruit and seed dispersals. That is fruit and seed formation. Now, before we start, let's quickly remind ourselves of the stages that we looked at in our previous lesson. In our previous lesson, we looked at germination to seedling to flowering after the plant matures, and then pollination. We look at fertilization after pollination. Now, today we are looking at fruit and seed formation. So after fertilization, the ovary forms the fruit, and the ovary becomes the seed. Take note, after fertilization, the ovary forms the fruit, and the ovary becomes the seed. Remember that fruit and seed formed will undergo several developmental stages to mature. And that is what we call fruit and seed maturation. Now, a fruit is defined as a fertilized ovule. It's defined as a fertilized ovary that contains seeds. Fruit is defined as a fertilized ovary that contains seeds, or that has seeds attached to it, as the cashew fruit is. A seed is a fertilized ovule that contains embryo. A seed is a fertilized ovule that contains embryo. Embryo is an early stage of any plant found enclosed in a tester or seed coat. It's the early stage of a plant enclosed or surrounded by a seed coat. Alright, so take note of this stage carefully. You can call it fruit and seed formation or fruit and seed maturation. Now let's move on to the next stage. But before then, let's see how maize fruit and seeds look like. So you can see the fruit is on your left, and in the fruit are the seeds, which you can see on your right. So this is what happens after fertilization. Let's look at okra. On your left is okra fruit, And on the right are the seeds formed after the okra fruit matures and dries. So take note of the pictures. Now from here, we'll look at the next stage. Can you guess the next stage? After seed matures and the fruit matures, what is the next stage? All right, it is dispersal of seeds. Dispersal of seeds. It is the removal or scattering of seeds away from the parent plant. This is the removal or scattering of seeds away from the parent plant. The agents of dispersals include wind, water, animals, self-dispersal or explosive mechanism. Now, self-dispersal or explosive mechanism involves the fruits or the plant dispersing its own seeds without any agents, but by a mechanical action in the fruit wall. This what happens. Usually when the fruit dries up, it doesn't dry up all at once. It does so unevenly or ununiformly. And by so doing, there's pressure sets in the wall, which will cause a violent explosion of the fruit wall, releasing the seeds to be dispersed away from the parent plant. So take note of that. That's self-dispersal or explosive mechanism. You should guess the agent, which of these agents help disperse maize seeds, and which of them help disperse okra seeds. Can you guess the answers? Okay, let's check them out. We're seeing that maize seeds are dispersed by animals such as birds, while okra seeds are dispersed by self-dispersal or explosive mechanism. That's wonderful, isn't it? Now let's look at the pictures to illustrate what we have just discussed. All right, so on your left is a picture of a typical bird, parrot, of course, trying to consume the grains. But remember, in an attempt to consume the grains from the cob, some of the seeds find their way dispersed. So that is dispersal by a bird of maize seed. All right, on your right is a picture of how okra seeds are dispersed from the fruit of the okra. You can see the picture shows dry okra fruits that has splitted or opened up as a result of explosive mechanism, thereby exposing the seeds to be dispersed. All right. So, my dear learners, we've looked at the last two stages of the life cycle of okra and maize plants, which are fruit and seed formation and maturation, and dispersals of seeds. All right. Can you mention all the stages you have looked at in summary? Good. We started with germination, which leads to seedling or young plants, which further leads to flowering, then pollination, fertilization, fruit and seed formation and maturation, and finally look at dispersals of seeds. Remember, when seeds are dispersed and the seeds find a suitable environment with suitable conditions, the seed will germinate. then the cycle is repeated. So that's how life cycle of maize and okra is. My dear learners, this marks the end of this topic. Today, try and summarize this lesson on paper or by words to your daddy, mommy, or your sibling. Alright, for assignment 18, we are supposed to answer all the questions. Number 1, explain the following terms accurately. I, fruits. I, seed. I, dispersal of seeds. 2, list one agent of seed dispersals of I, okra. I, maize. And number 3, list all the stages of the life cycle of maize or okra in the correct order. So if you miss the order, you lose marks. So follow the order accurately. Okay, we're bringing the lesson to an end with a reminder that for our next lesson, we shall look at air, characteristics of air, and experiment to show that air supports bending or combustion. Till then, bye-bye.